2025 has been a very big year for Nintendo, with the release of the Switch 2, a handful of top-rated game launches, and the promise of more exclusives and highly anticipated titles soon to come. There's nothing quite like being able to play a game on a handheld console, and the Switch and the Switch 2 have proven they have what it takes to reign supreme in that arena. So today we've compiled the list of the 10 best games to come to Switch in 2025, and here they are presented in alphabetical order. First, Ball X Pit. Ball X Pit earns its spot as one of the Nintendo Switch's best games of 2025 due to how addictively fun its otherwise simple mechanics are. The game's core loop is incredibly easy to grasp, and once everything clicks, it's impossible to put down. Despite being easy to learn, it still manages to achieve such surprising depth that it'll keep players coming back for run after run. Next, Donkey Kong Bonanza. Donkey Kong Bonanza stands out among the best Nintendo Switch games of 2025 as an example of a game that knows what it wants to do and executes it with aplomb. Since its release, it has risen to become one of the highest rated games of the year, and it even went on to win Best Family Game at the Game Awards. Donkey Kong Bonanza's satisfying destruction mechanics, imaginative level design, rewarding exploration, and playful personality make it a tough Switch game to turn down. Following that, Final Fantasy Tactics: The Evilized Chronicles. Despite being a remake, Final Fantasy Tactics: The Evilized Chronicles landed so well in 2025 because it gave fans the version of the original game they have wanted for years. Reviews consistently highlighted how it maintains everything that made the original special while smoothing out some rough edges with updated presentation, improved translation, and modern quality of life touches. The original has long been regarded as one of the most important tactical RPGs ever made, and Final Fantasy Tactics: The Evilized Chronicles preserved it and renewed it in a way that can appeal to classic fans and newcomers alike. Next, Hades 2. If there is any game that feels right at home on the Nintendo Switch in 2025, it's Supergiant Games' Hades 2. Runs are easy to jump into, combat feels great in both handheld and docked play, and there is more than enough to warrant its price tag. Like the first game, Hades 2 is built around repetition in a way that will keep players coming back for more, with enough variety in builds, story moments, and upgrades to make each run worthwhile. Additionally, the Switch's standby mode once again shines here, as a run in Hades 2 can get rather lengthy, and the ability to pause it temporarily and take it on the go helps ensure that those runs don't get lost. But after that, Hollow Knight: Silksong. One thing that made gaming so great in 2025 is the long-awaited arrival of Hollow Knight: Silksong, as players had spent around 7 years waiting for it from the moment development began on it. After an announcement trailer for the game was released 6 years ago and it remained absent years later, it became the source of memes and offhand jokes about how it actually didn't exist. However, the day finally came this year when Hollow Knight: Silksong arrived, and the Nintendo Switch is arguably one of the best platforms for it. The combat is quick, the movement feels great, and the world is as immersive as ever, giving players new challenges and areas that make it hard to stop exploring. Then we have Kirby Air Riders. Widely regarded as the Super Smash Bros. Of kart racers, Kirby Air Riders leans into the whimsical, unpredictable, and chaotic styles of racing that its predecessor introduced on the Nintendo GameCube in 2003. In 2025, bringing back the Kirby Air Ride name after all these years was already a big deal, but what has really worked for the sequel is how comfortable it feels just to pick up and play. There is a bit of a learning curve to it if players really want to become skilled at it, but when it is taken as seriously as it tries to be, it can be a blast to play with family and with friends. Then, Mario Kart World. Mario Kart World took the long-standing series in an entirely new direction in 2025 by essentially making each race a game within a game. Rather than featuring separate tracks alone, Mario Kart World's open world placed those tracks in one massive zone, linking them together in its free roam and knockout tour modes. Players can still race on each track individually, but they are all of them nonetheless interconnected, with a sizable roster of characters, each of whom has a variety of costumes, as well as the ability to roam through an open world. Mario Kart World is one of the most distinctive entries in the series yet, and one of the best Nintendo Switch games of 2025. Next up, Octopath Traveler 0. Octopath Traveler 0 is an adaptation of the mobile game Octopath Traveler Champions of the Continent, which arrived on multiple platforms this year, including the Nintendo Switch, and brought with it a memorable JRPG experience. It is fairly story-heavy, and perhaps even more so than previous entries, but its quality of life improvements, custom lead character, and town-building mechanics all make it worth the journey. Then Pokemon Legends ZA. Pokemon Legends ZA may have scaled things down a bit from its predecessor, but that wasn't enough to set it back. Going from the open world of Ancient Hisui to the more contained Lumiose City was a big gamble that ultimately paid off, as Pokemon Legends ZA saw the return of Mega Evolutions and the series' core formula, as well as the brand new real-time battle mechanics and more story-driven take on the original Pokemon formula. While it did receive some criticism for its visuals and environments, the risks it took with real-time battles and its stable performance earn it a place amongst the Nintendo Switch's best games of 2025. And finally, Split Fiction. By now, most fans with an ear even remotely close to the ground know about Split Fiction. Cited as one of the best co-op games of 2025, Split Fiction is built around playing with someone else, and it constantly throws new ideas at both players to ensure things never settle into a routine or grow stale. Whether it's puzzles, platforming, or something entirely unexpected, Split Fiction packs the kind of variety and creativity into its gameplay that's worth recognizing in 2025, and it even plays great on the Nintendo Switch. So those were the 10 best games on Nintendo Switch in 2025. Have you played any of these titles? Let us know down in the comments below, and for everything else, go over to GameRant.com. That's all, and thanks for watching.